Gasparilla includes people of all races and ethnic backgrounds. But that wasn't always the case, Deanne.
That's right. In today's episode of Rooted in Progress, we are introducing you to the crew that integrated the parade. All right, what's up? Come on into the Rooted in Progress Dream. We got a lot of folk in here.
We do. Yes,
like,
we do.
We look like a true, team. We got JB in the cut. Come on, JB being featured
this morning. We got
on Rooted in Progress. We got Daniel. Shout out to Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel does all our behind the scenes.
If y'all
shots.
follow us on social media, that really be Daniel. So shout out to Daniel. Come on
Couldn't do
in,
without
y'all.
Daniel, yeah.
Thank you for joining us on Rooted in Progress. It's your favorite host, Deanne King, for Terrence Middlebrooks. How you doing today?
I'm cold. How are you?
Cold.
Yes.
This week is not for the weak.
It's not for the
Literally.
weak. It's not for the weak.
The week is not for the weak.
Florida is kind of the last part of the country to get this cold snap. So shout out to all the people that are north of Florida who's been enduring these frigid temps probably for the past, 7 or 8 days. We're just now getting the little bit of taste of it. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I love that we're including ourselves in this winter storm because really everybody else is like, Florida, shut up.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, y'all stop playing with us.
Well, I'm going to tell you like this. It's cold.
Exactly.
I don't care where you live at.
And I know this week everyone has been dealing with the cold temps, but they ain't going nowhere. I know a lot of people are thinking and preparing for Gasparilla.
Yes.
And it's going to be cold
It's going to be cold, man. It's funny because I was checking the weather over the past 10 days. And last Saturday in Tampa here, it was
for the
in the
children's parade.
80s. Yes, it was in the 80s. So I was like, okay.
They wanted to act right for the kids.
That trend is going to continue, right? No, not at all.
Not more. But we are still going to have a time. We are excited to share and have and talk about the history of the Grand Krewe De Libertalia. If you haven't heard of them, you about to hear all about them right now. Joining us in studio today, we have the historian of the organization of the crew, Miss Sylvia Adams, with us. We also have a former president of the Grand Krewe De Libertalia, Mr. Jerry Green. How y'all doing today?
Good morning.
Good.
Thank you for having us.
You.
Yeah,
We are
welcome.
excited. Oh, me and Miss Sylvia, we go way back to last week.
That is
excited
true.
to have the both of you on because I think I shared when I met with you, Miss Sylvia, was when I was doing some research. So most people who know and follow Gasparilla, WFLA has been broadcasting this parade for
years and years. Yes.
At this point. And every year they usually assign the various journalists, the different anchors to do stories about Gasparilla. And y'all know with Horticulture, I always somehow implement amplifying Black and Brown voices within our newscasts and sharing different moments of Black history. Now with Gasparilla, that's a little hard, but I find the nuggets. I told you, Ms. Sylvia, about how I've done the stories about a Black designer who actually started making the gowns for the Gasparilla Queens when they had their balls. Her name is Ann Lowe. And so a lot of people don't ever know that history. So I'm like, okay, so what am I going to do this year?
Who was also the designer for Jackie O. She designed gowns for Jackie O as well.
Wow.
Her wedding dress.
Jackie Onassis.
And I'm like, what am I going to do this year? And so, to be fully honest, I get an email from management, and I see a story, and I said, oh, that ain't going to cut it. So I'm looking up more history, what kind of Black history plays a role or can tie into Gasparilla. And I said, well, Gasparilla started in 1900, so there had to be some kind of integration, something that happened, and I found your crew. And what the history and the story behind this crew is so remarkable. So Sylvia, if you can start off by just sharing the overall history of the Grand Krewe De Libertalia and what it brings to this community.
Thank you, I will. So our crew began in 1992, right? We started in 1992, and we were born out of protest, right? Out of protests, out of people saying enough is enough, out of the voices of people looking at our community and saying we need to do better. And our founder, his name was Jesse Hill. He and his wife, Connie, founded our crew. And our crew was founded because back in 1991, the NFL was here to do the Super Bowl. And there was an attempt to tie the Super Bowl with Gasparilla. So we were going to have Gasparilla on a Saturday and Super Bowl would be on a Sunday. And so we had a number of people in our community, prominent Black leaders, courageous, people who stood up and said, hey, this Gasparilla, as it looks right now, does not reflect the vast diversity of this community. It's a very exclusive, very exclusive group, right? That is representing the city, and this really shouldn't be the case. So there was talks, there was negotiations. As I said, there were protests, and some various things happened that I'm sure we can certainly talk about in terms of the parade being canceled and whatnot. And our founder, Jesse Hill, stood up and said, hey, I'm going to be a part of the change, right? I'm going to be a part of making this better. And he was involved with the substitute parade that happened, which is called Bamboleo. And then he founded our crew. He said, you know what? We can have a crew that has women, that has, blacks, whites, Hispanics, Asians, that shows the lovely diversity of this community. So the Grand Krewe De Libertalia was born out of that.
Wow. And what gets me, Terrence, and chime in on this happened in 1992. Like, when I started looking into this, I was like, I could not believe the year that I was reading was 1991 and 1992, that it took that long for this to happen.
I mean, from an organization or just a parade that's been around for decades.
Since the top of 1904.
Exactly.
That the first Black crew was organized and just really not too long ago. Can you elaborate a little bit more on where the name Libertalia come from?
Crew
and
of
how
Liberty.
It was named?
So that is it's liberty, right? It's liberation from the past, right? Liberation from ideas and mores of the past, and being able to embrace a brighter future. So it was the whole idea was, this is a crew of liberty, right? We're liberated from all this stuff that tied us down in the past, right? So that's part of it.
Mr. Green, so when did you get involved with the crew?
I want to say I joined the crew towards the end of the year 1999.
Wow.
My first parade was in 2000.
Okay. So, but you were around when the protesting and all of that stuff was going down in 91 and 92?
No, I was actually, I was in the Army.
Okay.
And here's a story that I think is interesting. I was in the Army, and I was on Desert Storm, actually, in 91.
Oh, wow.
And when you're deployed like that, they like to give you access to newspapers and everything, so you can see what's going on in your hometown or wherever you're from.
Okay.
So what the military published was 3 or 4 pages of highlights from every state, what's happening. And so I remember looking at, getting mine, and I'm not originally from Florida, originally from North Carolina, so I was reading it, and I saw Florida, and that story was there.
Wow.
And I was like, wait a minute, this is 1991.
Right. Get the same reaction you had.
Literally.
I was like, what is happening there? So I called my friend over. I'm like, dude, look at this. I'm like, I'm never going to that place. You will never find me there. He was like, me either. He goes, I won't be there either. But oddly enough, both of us ended up.
So how was the initial turnout as far as membership and all of that?
Well, initially, Jesse and Connie and a group of their friends probably had about 20 or so folks. And the first year, like, they didn't even do the parade.
Right.
Like, they didn't have a float, because they wasn't into the whole pillaging and whatnot.
Right.
Okay.
And that was also a part of the founding of the crew. It's like, we're not pillagers and all of that stuff. Like, we want to have a different narrative around pirates.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that they were very, very focused on is community involvement. And so that first group of people said, we're going to be involved in the community. community. We're going to emphasize education, and we are going to establish a scholarship fund, right? That is going to be the centerpiece of our outreach, is a scholarship fund that will reach out and do something, good for our community. So,
wow.
So that initial group was small, and it's kind of grown from there.
And, I remember Jesse saying, to me when I talked to him, he said, the purpose of forming this crew wasn't actually to be in parades.
Right.
He said that's why that first year they just sat out. They were there. They had a presence there.
Right.
He wanted to have a presence. He said, but the parade thing is the last thought of my mind. And back to what Sylvia was saying, we just want to give back to the community.
Has there been any support? And at the time, was there any support, or was there some kickback from other crew members, organizations? Yeah.
No
boycotts, I guess you could say.
No. They, the crew that is in charge of the parades, were very helpful to us in establishing our crew.
Good.
So they were helpful.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean,
They were.
I'd like to imagine in 1992,
that
it wasn't
be
so divisive, right? But even the fact that a conversation or work toward this didn't happen until then says a lot. I want to take a step back and go back to 91 and with the Super Bowl being here. And so it was this whole NFL was looking to have like Super Bowl plus Gasparilla, and it was like, hell no, that's not happening. So what did it look like in 91 to the point where there wasn't even the typical Gasparilla parade of pirates because this caused that much division? Right.
And I think I can't speak for the other organization, but I know that there were some issues about them wanting to there was pressure on them to integrate, and for whatever reason, they decided to pull out of the parade. So they have most of the floats in the parade belong to them. So once they decide to pull out, you have no parade. Right. So that is where our founder, Jesse Hill, came in, because there was a task force that was put together to say, okay, if we're not going to have the traditional Gasparilla parade, we need to have something in place of it. And that's where Bambaleo came in. So
and Jesse was actually working on the Super Bowl task force.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that's kind of how it started. And, they were kind of throwing ideas around up there, NFL and the task force. And one of the NFL guys said, hey, it would be great to combine your Gasparilla activities with the NFL and the game. And so they asked our founder, so what crew are you in here? And he was like, well, there's no black people in crews. And they were like, that's a good one. But what crew are you in? He said, there's not. And, Jesse explained the situation. They were like, well, NFL we can't partner with that. And so some of the members of the Super Bowl committee and the NFL folks went to see Mayor Friedman. But, not that they didn't believe Jesse.
Right.
But they just wanted to see if that was the truth,
right,
so to speak. So they went to the mayor and asked her and said, this is what we've heard. Surely this can't be the truth. And she said, well, that's the truth. And they asked her if she could go to them and ask them if they would at least consider others, and then maybe we could do something combined. But otherwise, they said we can't get involved.
A lot of history there, again, only in 1991. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we are actually going to dive into their own personal stories as to why they chose to join this crew. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back into the Rooted in Progress Stream Center. We are talking about the history of the Grand Krewe De Libertalia, the first diverse crew to join the Gasparilla Parade of Pirates in 1992. It took the Jesse Hill, his wife, Connie, in order to integrate what we know and love to be Gasparilla. I want y'all to start off by sharing why, I understand there's a long history of Blacks and minorities not feeling like they could participate in Gasparilla. Why did you all decide to join this specific crew and get involved?
Well, for me personally, my parents came to Tampa in the 1950s. So this parade was going on in the 1950s, and as children, look, we never went to the parade. Because our parents felt that, hey, this isn't for you. That's their thing, right? We were not included. We were not invited. It was their thing. So as children, we never went. And our parents grew up in the segregated South. As I said, it came here in the 50s, and still very much segregation going strong. So one of the things that was important to me as the history and as everything that we've just talked about happened in the 90s, and there was an opportunity for us to be members of this of a crew and to be out there as full-fledged crew members in the parade with everyone else. I felt personally that is a gift that I wanted to give to my mother. And up until she passed, once we were in the parade, she would sit in front of WFLA Channel 8, right? Every Gasparilla, a Saturday, and she would wait to see us come down. So that was, for me, a very full circle moment. And I even still get emotional about it now, because for her, going from being here in the 50s to being excluded from the parade, to seeing her children, her grandchildren and whatnot, being full-fledged participants and being a part of something that's so indicative of this city was just, how could I not be a part of that, right? How could I not?
How did the city accept this? Did the city, you guys accepted by other, residents or people in the area?
Well, yes, and I know certainly we talk about representation and the importance of being seen, right. And when you see something, you can be something. So having a little black kids go, hey, there's black pirates, right? There are black pirates. So having that representation in our city, everyone should see themselves in something that is so big and so iconic in our city. And this is a very diverse, place.
Absolutely.
So having, black and brown kids being able to see us, again, as being full and integrated members of that parade, that's a huge, that's huge in terms of representation in our community. So
Well, how many members are you guys have today?
We have about 30 members today. Always welcoming more. So always welcoming more members.
Jerry, what about you? Was there something that brought that personal touch to why you wanted to join this organization?
I came to.
After you didn't want to come to Tampa?
I came to Tampa in 1993. Imagine that. And at the time I had, 2 little boys. And so we would, take them down to the Gasparilla thing. And I remember watching it, though, thinking, it's not a lot of...
Where we at?
Yeah.
But, I was like, hey, that's the way it is. That's the way it is. One day I was at SOCOM, which is where I was working, and I was outside, and there was a smoking area. I didn't smoke, but I was out there. And there was this colonel who came up to me, black colonel. He said, hey, you know what? I'm going downtown in Tampa to a conventions at the convention center's a minority business fair or something. He goes, you want to go? I'm like, sure. So we go downtown to the convention center, and there's all these black businesses in here, small businesses, all kind of businesses. And I ran into Jesse.
Wow.
And he goes, oh, you military man, huh? And he gave me that spiel, and he told me about the crew. And I said, I was wondering, because I took, it's been 2 years I've been taking my kids. And I was wondering. So he told me about the crew, and I told him, I said, I'm in the Army. I'm deployed a lot to Middle East. I said, but when I get out, when I retire, which is soon, I will look you up and we'll see. And so that's how.
Wow. And you did.
I did.
And
yes,
you did.
I did.
Wow.
I did. Yeah.
That is incredible. And it also talks about the power of networking and the power of outreach and, like you said, representation. And here we are in 2026. So you all have been a part of this community for 34 years now.
Yes, 34 years.
And in all 34 years, you all have also given back to the community with your scholarship program.
Our scholarship.
Can you talk about the Treasure Chest Scholarship Program?
Absolutely. Very, very happy to talk about that. As I mentioned earlier, that was one of the founding principles of that early a group of folks who founded the crew, said that we are going to be a crew who gives back. And so the centerpiece of that is our Treasure Chest Scholarship Awards banquet. And what we do every year in partnership with the Hillsborough Education Foundation is we identify a student that we call our comeback kid. And it is a student who is a high school senior. And it's a student who has, perhaps had struggling with, addiction or pregnancy or just has had some rough path, right? The path has not been the straightest for them, but they've made it through, and they're at the point of graduating, and they want to go to college, and they need help going to college. So that is where we come in. Oh. So we like to identify those students and, be able to be a part of the village, right? Because we all know it takes a village. We all had a village, right, to help us get to where we are.
Absolutely.
So we're delighted and happy to be a part of the village that helps that student make it to the next step in life. So that is the centerpiece of what we do is our scholarship awards. And we do a lot of other things as well.
And scholarship is the big thing.
Absolutely. And you said in 34 years, over $300,000.
Yes.
Wow.
In 34 years, yes.
And we always have a guest speaker at our banquet. And we've had guest speakers that, range from Buckhorn when he was a city councilman.
Before mayor.
He was a city councilman. To Ashley Moody, who's now a senator and former AG of the state. So we just want people that love kids and want to see kids come in.
And want to inspire them and be that inspiration and giving them those pearls of wisdom, right, that they can take on and succeed.
Mm-hmm. Well, shout out to you all for being that and being that voice in our community. We're going to take a quick break and see how you can support the Grand Krewe of Libertalia when we come back. Welcome back to Rooted in Progress. Grand Krewe De Libertalia, days away from floating down Bayshore Boulevard. We got rain in the forecast.
Don't say it.
Cold temperatures.
Don't say it.
Oh my God. Conditions.
Keep it down.
Are y'all that real? Y'all still gonna be there?
Yeah, we will still be there.
The Pirates go. We don't care.
Yeah.
Tell us what it's like to prepare for the Parade of Pirates. Y'all have been doing it for over 30 years.
Oh yes, there's a lot. We have our float. It's getting the float together, getting everything on the float. For members, to be comfortable. And we have a porta potty on our float too. So that's very important.
Yeah, you definitely need that.
I'm like, I know where I need to go. If we don't have
exactly.
Now, does your float have a theme each year, or is it pretty much the same every year?
It's pretty much the same theme every year with all of our shield, right? It has our shield on it, and it's all decked out and whatnot. So go ahead.
And I was just going to tell her, if you look at that shield, you see the black and white hands clasped together.
Right.
And that's our theme. That's our theme of unity.
Yeah. And what else is reflected on your shield?
So we have the lion, which is courage. We have the hands that Jerry just mentioned, clasping, which represent brotherhood. I'm trying to get this mic so you can actually see.
You can move the mic. Go ahead, move the mic.
So the hands represent unity. The bird, freedom, and the L is for Libertalia, liberty.
Wow.
So,
yeah. Again, tell us a little bit about
the preparations.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So as I said, there's because it is such a long day, as you folks know, right?
Yeah, we
know.
So
it's getting the food, getting the beads, getting all of that set up. We have a DJ and getting the DJ on the float. So it's all those preparations that lead up to the day.
I need to after this I'm gonna tell where's my DJ? The Grand Krewe De Libertalia has the DJ. What we doing?
We used to have live music too.
Yeah, back in the day
we had a
live band on the float. Yeah, Sean Brown band. Yeah, back in the day.
Playing every year on our float.
Yeah,
wow,
it was so cool.
Yeah,
for people who are interested, whether it be through the scholarship program, I know you all do school visits. I know you all are very involved in the community.
Yeah.
Maybe people actually want to join or get involved. How can they do so?
Well, we're always happy to welcome new members, and you can check us out on the socials. We're Grand Krewe De Libertalia. Grand Krewe De Libertalia. You can Google us, gklibtampa.com. As I said, we're on all the socials: Facebook, Instagram. So please, if you want to be a part of us, we're always welcoming like-minded folks, so come out and join us. We also have a Gasparilla party, a pre-party that's happening on Friday. So that's happening down at Gaspar's Grotto. So that's happening at 6 o'clock. So you want to come down and meet some friendly pirates. I said we don't pillage, we don't plunder, we don't make you walk the plank or any of those sorts of things. But yeah, come on down and join us.
Okay, Friday night, 6 p.m.
Gaspar's Grotto. And then
in Ybor.
In Ybor. Okay. And then, as I said, you can find us on Facebook. Our website is gklibtampa.com. Check us out. There's lots of good information about our crew on the website. So love to see you.
Number one thing you're looking forward to on Saturday?
Well, hopefully it won't rain.
That part.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully it won't rain. So that's what I'm looking forward to. No rain.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Sylvia?
I always look forward to the camaraderie and just the feeling of community and closeness that Gasparilla represents.
Right,
you know, because there are lots of folks that the only time I see them is during the parade.
Yeah.
So I look forward to that.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Well, thank you all for everything that you do in the community. But I want to say this because I think you said it so well when we spoke last week, Sylvia, is that this story of the Grand Krewe De Libertalia is not just about filling you with Black history, but to let you all know that the parade that we know and love wasn't always that way.
Right.
And it took, what you said, someone of courage.
Courageous people.
It took courageous people to have, I don't want to be like, have a dream, but it took courageous people to actually stand up and say, hey, enough is enough.
Absolutely.
And we're going to create something that stands for everybody and represents everybody.
Absolutely.
Grand Krewe De
Thank you guys so
Libertalia.
much.
Make sure you all follow them and make sure you follow us. Rooted in Progress. You like how I did that?
Yeah. Fun time you did something.
We are live at 9:30 in the morning every Thursday on the WFLA app and the WFLA Facebook page. All of our episodes are also available on all streaming platforms. Y'all have fun. Be safe during Gasparilla.
Stay rooted.